Why, hello, hello, hello. This is Miss Janice, your natural hair care practitioner tutor, and I'm doing my best to find the camera. I believe it's right there. I have to use my phone because I am uploading and transferring all the information like Lobster's Embassy to my computer, and it's only at still installing updates, and it's only at 32%. And I'm like getting antsy. I want to do this, and it wasn't letting me. I'm going to pull these plugs out, and we're going to get started. So tell me, how are you doing today? How you doing? Okay. I have my book. I made a little slot for the pages so that I won't have to just work hard to go through them. And I decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to read until I get tired today, because I am enjoying helping. Okay, it is still at 33% of 63. Okay, we're going to start today at hair growth. We did the definition, and it says, and then we got to the point to where it was saying antigen, catagen, and telogen, and then we're right now at catagen, and that's a different phase of the hair. The antigen, I believe, is like the growing phase, and it can do that for 3 to 7 years, something like that. Hold on, let's go back and see. Yep, hair growth. I love it when we get it right. I will be jumping up and down if I wasn't here. I'm like, but and like I said, I'm on my phone, so if y'all can't see it, wait till the next time around. So that should be the antigen, and it says hair growth, catagen, and hair growth anagen, and is the active growing phase when the bulb is moving up through the follicle and new hair is being produced. This phase can last up to 7 years. Anything you can just make hair, the word hair growth, out of a song, I will get happy. Hair growth, hair growth. I'll be just happy because I am really enjoying the fact that my hair is growing. I really like that. I am just totally uh, started last year growing my natural hair on purpose, February the 5th, 2017. Okay. I wanted to separate it because I'm going to put this back here. Okay, hair growth, catagen. Catagen is the transition or resting phase after years of growing, when the hair cells stop reproducing and the hair begins to lose moisture and separates from the papilla. So what it sounds like to me is like every 7 years you get a new do. I'm just saying, because it says this phase can last up to, well, the antigen phase lasts up to 7 years. Let me make sure. Yep, this phase can last up to 7 years. And it's almost like, okay, now it's getting ready to start falling out or breaking off. Okay, I'm gonna talk to me because I keep losing the camera. Normally the camera is up here and I know it, but now it's on my phone. My phone is turned sideways, and I don't want to talk like that. Okay, so if you see me looking up, I'm looking at Miss Janice. Okay, I'm gonna do that again though, because I took a little break in there. It says catagen is the transition or resting phase after years of growing, when the hair cells stop reproducing and the hair begins to lose moisture and separates from the papilla. This phase can last up to 2 weeks. See, it's not talking about hair growth really. It's talking about the process of hair growth. There's the anagen, which is like 7-year process. Then the catagen, which is like a 2-week process. And now there's the telogen, the TELO. See, I'm looking up again, and the camera's not there. Okay, I'm going to talk to Miss Janice. Okay, it says telogen is the shedding or resting phase when the bulb is totally separate from the root and new hair cells divide and multiply, creating a new hair shaft. Well, at least it's going to grow again. This phase can last up to 4 months. And that's what I like about my natural hair. Okay, here comes the unveiling. It seems like I like having my hair covered because it is so cold. But remember, on yesterday I washed it, and then I usually take the rubber bands out, which is it begins with a C. It's not comfort. What's the name of the phase? It don't even begin with a C. It begins with a P. It's protective style. And I usually put the rubber bands back in on Thursdays and try to go the next day, let it dry and take them out like that. But this is how they're looking. So it's doing something. I don't know whether it's the antigen, wrong place. I don't know if it's the antigen, the catagen, or the telogen. Because remember ACT, that's how you remember that little acronym that's going on. Which one of those is going on? But I believe it's the telogen. Okay, and you know that when I take my hair out, I'm always touching it, so. Hair characteristics. There are 2 general characteristics of hair. There's 2 generals. Remember I said TNT? Oh, wrong place. Remember I said TNT? Meaning texture and texture and texture and texture and... Oh, I don't remember the other one. I have to look. Well, if you're here, can you type it? I'll read it, I promise. Texture and type. Texture and type. I think it's type, but I'm hoping it's type. I just remember the TNT part. Oh, so texture and type. Yes, and it's type is up top and texture down the bottom. That way, so it's type and texture. So what type of hair do you have? It's like you have coily, you have straight, you have kinky, you have wavy. So it's straight, it's straight, wavy, curly. Oh no, wait a minute. It's straight, wavy, because that's the oval. Coily, that's flat. Kink, no. I gotta get this right. It's almost time for the test. Well, next month, but and that's what I'm trying to explain to you. I'm gonna say talk entrepreneur. Talk practitioner. The things that you're learning, you tell. I'm not even looking at the camera. The camera is. I'm looking at the. What do you call that thing right there? The symbol that turns the camera. I'm looking at the camera, but it's the symbol that turns the camera focus towards me or away from me. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to look at that. I'm sorry. I'm trying my best to not look at Miss Janice and talk to Miss Janice, because then y'all are going to be able to tell that I'm talking to myself, and I'm going to start answering myself. No, let me stop. Okay, so type, texture, and I was thinking of the circle, which is straight, the oval, which is wavy, the I don't was on the next page. Oh no, I could have got it. I could have gotten it. Oh, it's on 35. I just hit the desk when I went, oh no, and hit the desk. And then it came back on. It says on 35. So it is moving. Anyway, hair characteristics type. Hair types are basic forms and general characteristics of hair fiber, which are classified into 4 variations. So it's 4 variations. And you can know that because all I remembered for all of them is that one of them is O, and that was straight. And I am noticing that as soon as I do the O for straight, I can't seem to get all the rest of them. This one is wavy, so it's straight, wavy. This one is curly, and this one is the one that's just totally flat, is kinky coily. Kinky coily. I believe that the roots of my hair are kinky because I show y'all every time. It's like, here you go. Let me make sure that this is the tail comb, and I'm looking to see if there's any. Oh, there's one little kinky coily piece of hair in it. Let me see if you can see it. Oh, wrong place. It's right here. So this right here would not be a passing grade if I was what is it called? A licensed facility, and someone from the agency decided to come by and check out the facility. I would get a ding. I would get a ding. Anyway, let me show you. And I said this is going to be the one that I'm going to practice on all the time. See? It's not going nowhere. Ouch. I hear popping. I better stop. But this loose lock technique is like really nice. It gives the locks an opportunity to, even the part that you put in, and you just, like me, the part that I put in first time, it was at the root, and that just came out like maybe 2-3 days later. And I put a knot in there, okay? And then I ended up, it's on 36, you guys. And then I ended up putting that, connection in. So you have to see the other videos, because remember I told you I'm not doing it again. And I'm leaving these videos up. Oh yeah, and those are coming out because now the hairs are separating, but as they come out, I'm noticing that they're locking together. The separated ones is locking together, which is nice. And we're supposed to be putting the rubber bands back in tomorrow. You can put them in the day as your protective style to make sure that you're parting, not necessarily your parting. That's not the part that's going to be trying to marry. The part that's trying to marry on mine is the ends. These are like, they're straggly hairs that are really, really like going up here trying to marry, etc. Okay, so it's straight, which has that round, is the round variation. The oval to round is the wavy. Then you have the curly, and I know we've all seen somebody with some curly hair. It's like, oh, your hair is so curly. It doesn't matter what color they are, what race, what back, where they came from. You can see an Indian person with curly hair. You be like, oh, your hair is beautiful. You don't say, oh, your hair is so kinky coily. Okay, and then if it's flat and spiraled, that's the kinky or coiled hair. Oh, now gotta get out my towel. But I like the curly because that's the almost flat. Almost. To me, when I do flat, I'm like, oh, this is the straight. But then when I do flat, I do just like the like turn my hand sideways. I maybe have it like that and do like this. So that if you see it, it looks really flat. Okay, that's the type. Now we're going to do the texture. And don't get those mixed up, okay? Because the texture of your hair is like, it's kinky, coily, and that's to the feel. I was, as I'm thinking right now, I wonder if they're talking about like, if you can feel it in your hand. Hey, I'm taking this test along with you all. So I'm tutoring and teaching at the same time, myself. Or I'm tutoring and teaching myself at the same time, which I think is kind of cool. I was telling my sister how I'm going to, at Loxer's Embassy, I'm going to tutor how to get your GED, so you can get your GED, and then I'm going to also teach how to get your license, a tutor how to get your license. I think that's cool because it gives your tutoring a purpose. And that's what I was explaining. I said I want people to want to learn. And then they're not only learning, like here, you're learning not only how to, do well on the natural hair care practitioner exam, but you're also learning how you can start a business from scratch. This is like what you're working with what you already have. That's what you want to do. You want to always work with what you already have. Let me give you an example. For years upon years, I know at least up until 2000. So probably about 6 years or more. I'm not really sure. But I would work with computer. No, I know it was more. I know it was more. It was since like 1994. My children had just come home. I had just and we had moved into a house, and I remember working with computers, and the guy a few doors down built computers, and he would have to come over all the time to either give me more memory or just uh, what is it called, when you reformat the computer so I can start over because I got overwhelmed. I had too much stuff on it, didn't know how to get it off. Then at that time the hard drives was like 1,000. You just knew, you was like, woohoo, I got 1,000 gig, whatever. Anyway, anyway, phones can have that now. But anyway, so I was learning how to build computers because I had never really heard of building computers. But all my life I worked with computers, but it's almost like you just think computers are already there. But then he would come over and open up the computer, put stuff in, and it would just work fine for a while. Anyway, I had a friend, and she wanted her computer, and I said, I can. If you take me to the store, I know we can get to build you a computer, make your computer hard drive bigger. We need some chips or RAM memory, and then we need this, and I was just telling her what she needed. I just learned it from asking the guy a million questions. Anyway, so we go to Fry's in Wilsonville, get what she needs, come back and builds her computer and puts it together. Oh, you talking about somebody who was happy. Anyway, so as time went on, I just learned how to build computers. Hold on, I'm trying to. And by us continually going over this, is building up my stamina, my encouragement, my will to teach, tutor, and everything. And let me get back to work. But I just need to tell you guys that as this what is it called? It's not called a format. It is a format, but as this avenue opens and I'm learning more things, I'm going to do my best to teach you all more things. So if you know of anybody that wants to get their GED and to do this, I'm going to be doing these too, because it's a pathway to greatness. I know I keep saying it, and I know I keep making positive suggestions so that you all can know. Hi. So that you all can know that You have an opportunity to do better and better, to get better and better, to be better and better. And as you are being that, and as you are receiving or getting that, the environment around you is going to begin to change, and you're going to actually receive the opportunity to know. I mean, this is a know thing. You're going to know that you're the one that helped change the environment, because you're going to realize that you are changing. You are changing, and once you start changing, you are going to begin to change your environment. It's like me when I wanted to do this, the natural hair care practitioner, to get my license to become a licensed natural hair care practitioner. I said, I'm going to teach everyone this. I'm not going to keep this to myself. Everyone that wants to be a licensed natural hair care practitioner, they're going to come on. They're going to see mzjanis. They're going to be able to talk about what they're learning, how fast they learned it. They're going to talk about some of the examples. They're going to start talking practitioner. They're going to want to tell what they're knowing, and because it's making me excited, and I'm getting so excited. I know you over there go, yes, I'm excited too. So anyway, my goal is to just tutor with a purpose, and this time I'm tutoring so that you can become a business owner, or you can become an entrepreneur, or you can become an employee that you decided, I want to do this. I'm going to find me a place to do this, and I'm going to be the best licensed natural hair care practitioner out there. Nobody's going to be better than me. And I know nobody's going to be better than me, because I am offering all kinds of stuff. One day I'm going to come on with a hat, and I'm going to show you how to make one from scratch. Because people want to crochet. There's people out there that say, I don't know how to crochet. I don't know how to knit. I mean, I saw my grandmother do it. So anyway, I just got to tell you guys, you all are making me do better. Every single day I come on, I'm noticing that I'm even having different stories to tell. In the church realm, it's called testimonies. Okay, let's get started. Let me get back to work. Hair characteristics. Now we're going to do the texture. We just went over the type. So the types are straight. Then it gets oval and it is wavy. Then it gets almost flat and it's curly and kinky. No, that's flat. Kinky. No. It's curly. And then it's, oh no. You see why I do this all the time? Kinky coily. Kinky coily. Now I'm going to see if I'm right. So I said straight, wavy, curly, kinky coily. Straight, wavy, curly, kinky. It's not kinky coily. It's kinky or coiled. Man. And what that is flat and spiral. This one right here. Oh, sorry. I'm on my camera, you guys. So I don't really have that much. Hold on, I'm going to turn it so you can maybe see it. Oh. There you go. That way you can get in your mind. When I'm talking, I keep telling you all how I see the circle or round. It's called round. Let me turn this back. It's called round. It's called round, oval to round, almost flat, flat and spiraled. Okay, when I was talking about the texture, I asked a question. I said, I wonder if they're talking about when you touch the hair, you can do like this and feel it. Or when you touch the hair or look at the hair, you can say, oh, that's wavy. So let's see. Oh, hair texture is the measurement and curl configuration of a hair fiber resulting from 3 characteristics. Now, one of the things that we need to know or remember, so this is a hint, because this has to be on the test. It has to be. I mean, my sister said that the test that she heard, because she hasn't taken the test yet, we're taking it together. My sister said that she heard that the test is not that hard. And she's pretty smart, so. Okay, let's go. It says hair texture is the measurement, and the word that I want you to get is the characteristics. Characteristics. It's almost like hair is personal or is a person because it grows, it likes water, it likes like that. It has blood cell, muscle. It's like a person. So I'm most sure that we have to remember the word characteristics. Like, what are 5 characteristics of hair? And one of them is the type, the texture, and diameter, porosity, elasticity. And the only one that I think I really know is elasticity. And we're gonna do that last, so I don't know whether it's right or not. But one of them is that if you pull your hair, remember I said I wasn't gonna do it again because my hair is starting to lock. And when it locks, it shrinks, and y'all know that it was down here the other day. Y'all remember this right here was down here the other day. Now look at it. It is nowhere near there. So I think that one is elasticity. I really think. I'm not sure because I have to reread it. And the nice part, this is the nice part. If you have a pencil or a pen, or do like you did the other day, and just type in what you think. You have a little area for you to type. So type it in. That way you can participate and get it either right with me or get it wrong with me. Or I get it wrong and you get it right. Okay, diameter, porosity, elasticity. And so acronym for that one could be DPE or DEP, depth. Not deep because it only has one E. So DEP, diameter, elasticity, porosity. And listen, after we get this license, we're going to go so in depth with hair characteristics. If you remember that North Carolina school uh, that charges like over $1,000, that's how they could do that because they went so in depth with it. They went so in depth. They said the hair characteristics, and that was like the first or the second class or the third. It's out there on the table, I think. Hold on, it's not in here. Anyway, so anyway, let's get back to it. Hair characteristics, texture. Hair texture is the measurement and curl configuration of a hair fiber resulting from 3 characters. That is diameter, elasticity, porosity. Oh, okay, we're going to do diameter. Listen up. It says hair characteristic, diameter. Diameter refers to the size of the individual strand of hair and degree of coarseness or fineness. For example, if you already know that, like me, that you have kinky coily hair, when it falls out and you're the only person that has type hair and you feel it and it's like, okay, you know that you have kinky coily hair. In other words, if it fell out and everyone else in the house was like maybe of different descent than you, like Indian, Russian, German, anyway, you out of all of the people in the house, it could be 20 of them, you would know that that was your hair. Like, whose hair is this on the, you'd be like, okay, so what it did is it went to a different or more in-depth characteristic of your hair. It says coarse hair is largest in diameter, fine hair is smallest in diameter. Like if I pulled out one of the strands of my hair, I didn't pull one out, but I was just acting like I did, and I did my fingers like this, and I can feel that and I can see it, and it looks like a coily piece of hair. I know it's mine. I know it's it. Okay, hair characteristics, porosity. Now this is the one that I really want to learn. I have to learn this because porosity is the hair's ability to absorb moisture through the cuticle into the cortex. And I really have to remember that because I'm always saying that since I begin to lock my hair or or to stop combing it and just like maybe put my fingers through it and separate the parts and like that, but not combing it, I noticed that when I put water and oil on my hair in the spray bottle, I shake it, and I put castor oil, I put water, I put a little bit of like a cap full of conditioner, and I put, so there's castor oil, water, conditioner. There's one more thing I put in there. Oh, and apple cider vinegar. A cap full of apple cider vinegar. And I shake it up, and whether I soak my hair or not, which I do practically every day, but whether I soak my hair or not, I just know that when I put that on the top, once the hair dries, it leaves the oil, and my scalp, I don't know if you can see that, but my scalp stays oily. My hair, even though it's dry, not meaning it's not wet, that dry, even though it's not wet, it's so soft and coily and curly, just little teeny curls. And so it says porosity is the hair's ability to absorb moisture through the cuticle into the cortex. The degree of porosity is directly related to the condition of the cuticle. And if you remember, let me see if I can find it right quick. If not, we'll keep going. No, it says cuticle. The cuticle is where my finger is, right here. Oops, I'm so... Okay, I hope you can see that. If not, you can wait till the next go round. The low porosity refers to as hydrophobic. To me, don't that sound like when you're in a closed room and you're kind of scared? Hydrophobic? But anyway, I'm just saying. And high porosity is hydrophilic. So one of them has a PHOBIC and the other one has a PHILIC. So high porosity. But let's look at it. What it's saying again is the hair's ability to absorb moisture through the cuticles into the cortex. Let's find the the cortex. Hold on. That's inside the... You should see this. I don't know if you can see this, but if you look real close, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, though. If you look real close between the cortex and between the cuticle, which is the outside shaft, outside characteristics of the hair, or the outside area of a strand of hair, because this is one strand, and then the cortex, just in that distance, like from here to here, it looks like a whole lot of little hairs going like this. Okay. Hope you can see that. And then there's the medulla, which is... That looks nice. Anyway, that's regarding the hair shaft. And then those are the two characters. There's the shaft and the root. I remember that one because I had to think of what the S and the R for sir. The abbreviation of sir. Okay. So, and another thing. Another way that, with any test, you want to get comfortable with taking tests. Another way that you can kind of tell what's going to be on the test is either it's written in bold or they show pictures. Not saying that they're going to show pictures on the test itself, But if they show pictures, right, and we're talking about hair, and they show a picture of hair, that could be like hint, hint, ding, 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 like bells should be going off. Because and then they start talking about characteristics. They're talking about hair. We're getting a natural hair care. Uh, 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 we're going to become a licensed natural hair care practitioner. So we should at least know about this. Not necessarily about not to cut it, not to uh, bleach it, not to blonde it, not to bleach it, not to color it, not to see, not. I mean, you're going to know about. Excuse me. You're going to have to know about those things. But it's called. Listen. It's called a natural hair care practitioner license. So this right here should be the bulk of the test, not the closed receptacles, not the walls, not the ceiling, not what the floor is supposed to be, but the health part of it. So if it was sectioned off, there would be a health part. That right there would have to talk about, what type of material you should use for your clients, because you're going to be working with people. You got to know that you need to always carry a license on you, whether you're a licensed independent, whether you have an independent license, that's called an entrepreneur. That way you can make up stuff. I can have a school, I can like that. Anyway, that's called an entrepreneur. You can work at a school teaching. You can do anything as an entrepreneur with your license that you have to have on you at all times. Let me get back to hair characteristics. Another one, well, is talking about, it has conditions of the cuticle, low porosity. Oops, I skipped the page. Hold on. I have to go back one more page. Two more pages. There it is. It's the texture of the hair. We're going over the hair characteristics, which is the texture of the hair. And elasticity is the last one, but if you're trying to make it out of an acronym, you want to do DEP. So you want to be the D, the elasticity, and the porosity. I forgot what the D meant. Diameter. That's a hunk of pages. It's just flipping to the pages and everything. This is pretty cool test. Okay, hair characteristics, elasticity. Elasticity is the hair's ability to stretch and return to its normal size and shape without breaking. And I was telling you how the last time I pulled my hair, when I said, I don't know if I told you, but when I said that I'm not going to pull my hair anymore, it's because I heard popping. I was like, oops, I'm not doing that no more. Because it is matting and doing what it's supposed to do in there. You can tell it is, because I won't be combing it anymore, because the day as I was doing that little pull test to show you that it's knotting and locking, I heard popping. So I won't be doing that no more or anymore. Okay, the normal elasticity is springy and lustrous. The dry hair stretches itself 1/5 its length. So, and for example, if your hair is normally like this long, then 5 of these, so it should be 5 of this right here. So it should be able to, at least if it's dry, it'll only be able to stretch that much. Wet hair stretches up to 50% of its length. So if it was wet, it should be able to stretch about that much. If it's normal elasticity, it should be able to just go from here to here. Okay? So that's the stretching part. Mine right now is getting not dry hair to the extent that it can't stretch, but I don't want to keep stretching it because it's locking and it's supposed to shrink. So it's gonna be like, oh brother, now I gotta go back and rejoin with the. No, the hair doesn't talk. But anyway, okay, the hair characteristics in different regions of your head. I was talking to my sister, and she was saying how she was doing my niece's hair, and then she was saying that she's on the. I don't know. She said she had already done certain parts, like the temporal, the cord, the frontal, the like that. I was like, look at her, no more stuff than me, and I'm tutoring. No, let me stop. But anyway, she had asked me about one part of the hair, and in here in my head, I heard occipital, and then she said the old one. I said occipital. She said yeah. So as you go over the same thing over and over and over again, it comes to you. It comes to you. Okay, the hair characteristics regarding the regions. There are 4 bone structures in the cranium, which results in the various of hair texture. And I know for a fact that this, even if it's not the whole head, this texture, this right here is the thickest. And that's the temporal lobe. I mean the temporal. Here, I'm going to show you the picture of the skull. It's right in that little corner right there. Yep. Right where my hand is the word temporal. Right here. And that's the ear, and that's right like under and behind the ear. See, under and behind. So it's like right there. And so I can go from my own head and tell that one. The occipital, the parietal, which is, I believe we can say that the parietal is the largest area. This is the parietal, this area right here. And you can see parietal. And that's the largest area, because see there's no words from here to here. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see it on the camera, but look, I'm going to try to draw it with my hand. This is, oops, I went too low, I'm sorry. It's right here. There's a line there. So there's this section, and there's a line right here, and then there's a line separating the frontal from the temporal. This is the frontal, the forehead area, to like right about like this, about like here. So it's taken up. I'm trying to show you sideways. Okay, and this temporal takes up this section right here. Right? So where my thumb is, going this way, and then comes to like right about here. Goes behind the ear. This is the temporal. The temporal, in real life, we call that the kitchen. No, let me stop. No, I'm just joking. We call this right here the kitchen. Those little knots that be back there. Okay, so we got the parietal, the frontal, and the temporal. What I suggest is you remember the P, the O, the P, the O, the T. So the parietal, the occipital, the temporal, and of course you know this right here is the frontal, because that's the front of your head, right? So if you remember the parietal, where the parietal is, and then if you remember the, hold on, I'm messing my hair while I'm talking, and where the parietal is, and then the frontal, the P, the O, the T. And you just, if you remember the P, the parietal, occipital, O, and the T, which is the temporal. And temporal, this is where it's showing it at. This is where the word is. It's pointed to right here. So that would be the temporal, and then it's a little, this one right here, remember I told you is the largest part. So you remember the temporal, which is here, because remember I showed you the line. Don't worry, we're going to get to this again, so you don't have to worry, and I'm going to do it all the time, so you won't have to worry. But in order for me to tutor you, I'm teaching you ways to remember. So you remember all of them. You know that there's an F, and it's called the frontal. You know that part. But you have to figure out how to remember it. So just think of a pot. And there's the parietal, there's the occipital, and there's the temporal. And I'm telling you what, ouch, fingernail. I'm telling you where it says the temporal is. The temporal is here. And then there's another part. I told you it goes up like this. And that right there is this one, the parietal. You see it? This is the largest part. Because I see a line right here. So this right here says it's the frontal. But we're not trying to do the frontal. We're doing 3 of them. There's 4, and they're called the regions. There's 4, like for us, regions, the only way I think of region is north, east, south, and west. There's 4 of them. There's the north region, the south region, the west region, blah, blah, blah. And for your head and for your hair to grow on it, you have to do parietal, O. Okay, if you said occipital, you're correct. And that's what I'm telling you, as we're doing the testing part and asking the question, you just try to be the first one to type the answer. And then if you get it right, like, yay! Everybody can go thumbs up to whoever you are. So it's the parietal, the occipital. What's the T? It's the one that's right here. Because if you move the skin, which is called the epidermis, talking practitioner here. Okay, let's do some more. It says hair in the occipital region is tighter in its coil configuration, in addition to being drier, more brittle, and easier to break. And I told you all, this right here, it has to be the occipital, because this piece right here is like a hunk of afro. Well, all of them are really, because I keep them separated, but and I told you I wanted a locked afro, and this is coming along pretty good, don't you think? Okay, let's look at this picture one more time. So we did the temporal, then this part right here. There's a little hook that comes down like this. The top of the hook. So that's right there. There's a little thing like this. You can see a line that comes here. This right here is the parietal. This is the biggest part. This is the frontal. Yeah, you can see it. This is the frontal. Oh, it's going to be nice when I can get this bigger. It doesn't matter what I'm on. Well, when I do the computer, it works out pretty good. Okay. The occipital is the bone that forms the back of the cranium, indenting above the nape. So this will be the nape of the neck. And then this will be the occipital. Because remember, this is that little bone, that little lump right there. This one right here would be the temporal, occipital, frontal. Now we got to remember where the parietal is. Let me see if I get it right. Yep, occipital, temporal. Oh, see, I'm training on this side, now I'm doing this side. I can't remember. Let me go to the next one. Next time we're like, okay, this right here will be considered the temporal. It's right above your ears. This is the parietal. It's right where that little lump is that separates the the neck. So that's the nape of the neck. And then parietal, occipital, frontal. So what did the F stand for? Frontal. Very good. Okay, so the occipital region is the bone that forms the back of the cranium, indenting above the nape. Hair in the occipital region is tighter in its coil configuration, in addition to being drier, more brittle, and easier to break. Hair characteristics, parietal region. Let's see if we got it right, even though we was going from the picture. Maybe the wording and the picture will help you to remember better. The parietal is the two bones that form the sides and top of the cranium. So that's this. Remember I told you it's the biggest bone? Because remember, that's the temporal. You would think the temples would be... But anyway, I'm just saying. Hair in the parietal region. Like, woo! I'm massaging my temples because I heard that it helps your head or stress. Or, see, temples. That's why I said that. And started laughing. Hair in the parietal region has a great variety of diverse textures. Hair characteristics, frontal region. Frontal is the bone that forms the forehead. And the way that I like it from the picture is there's actually, you can actually see lines. You can actually see lines. And then this is the frontal, right? This part right here. A little bit further. And then there's a line that goes up. And then there's another line here that attaches here like that. It's pretty neat. Characteristics, frontal region. Frontal is the bone that forms the forehead. Hair in the parietal region has a great variety of diverse textures. Well, why did they said frontal and then now they're talking about parietal? I'll tell you why. Maybe they're connected. Occipital. Frontal. Yeah, because the parietal, it connects all of them. The parietal is connected to the occipital. It's connected to the temporal. No. Yeah, everything is connected to the parietal. The occipital has a line, and then it says parietal. The temporal is connected to the parietal and occipital. Like that. So I can see why I said it both the same times. Because it's the parietal. See, patting the top of your head. Parietal. Patting the top of your head. Patting the top of your head. Parietal. Patting the top of your head. Parietal. Patting the top of your head. And then your hand is big. See, if you try to do your hand on the temporal part, see, it still touches the parietal. If you do the frontal, you're still touching the parietal. If you do the occipital, you're still touching the parietal. See? So no matter what, if you pat your head, you're going to always touch the parietal. If you do the frontal, you're touching the parietal. You do the temporal, you're touching the parietal. You do the occipital, you're touching the parietal. That's why it says, hold on. Occipital is the bone that forms the back of the cranium, indenting above the nape. Hair in the occipital region is tighter in its coil configuration, in addition to being drier, more brittle, and easier to break. Parietal is the two bones that form the sides and top of the cranium. And the top, of course, is called the parietal. Parietal is the two bones that form the sides and top of the cranium. So that means that this right here and this right here. This right here is the parietal. This right here is another bone. You remember what it's called? It's the T one. Temporal. Because remember, it's right by the ear. I don't know if it goes dark when I put that there, but I have my finger right there on it. And it's just, and the word is to the one that looks like the ear. So 30. The frontal region. The frontal is the bone that forms the forehead. Hair in the parietal region has a great variety of diverse textures because it's connected to all of them, all of the regions of your head. That's my final answer, and I'm sticking to it. Hair characteristics, temporal region. Where is the temporal region? Because when you remove the ear, you see that hole, which is right here, and it's pointing like this area right here. And there's that one and that one, and they're both attached to the parietal. You're padding. And then no matter what, if you're in the back of your head padding, the occipital connects to the parietal. The temporal connects to the parietal. The frontal connects to the parietal. Hair in the temporal region displays a soft or fine coil, is less brittle, and the spiral pattern may vary from a very tight to loose or medium to large corkscrew pattern. My hair is really not doing what they say, but you know, you want to believe them and you want to pass the test, so you just learn it the way they say it. Because my parietal area is the one that's fine and thin and all the other kind of good stuff. So maybe once it grows in, I will know for sure with assurance that it grew in, because it was none, and maybe that's why it's in a looser curl pattern. It's still curly, but it's just really loose. It's more wavy than, oh no, kinky or coiled. It's more curly. No, it's more wavy. It has a looser pattern. I don't know where that one came from. Okay, we're on diseases and disorders. Diseases and disorders. And this is what I was talking about. You see the word diseases and disorders? And see how it's bolder than the rest of the words except for the title? That's what I mean. They do that. It's normally going to be a hint. You know, it's normally like a hint. Hey, psst, yo, psst, over here. I'm going to have that on the test. Remember that, okay? You like that. That's what it says to me. Okay. Diseases and disorders. Now, when I get to this point, I always tell you that before you get here, over somebody's head with your gloves on, that you should make it a standard or a norm that you have a checkoff list. 2, 1 checkoff list regarding the person's head. You can ask them questions. And the other checkoff list is regarding your character. You again ask them questions. How did you do? That's not what you're going to say, but in essence, that's what you mean. How did you do? How did I do with your hair today? Because they're the client, but your profession is the client's hair. You're a licensed natural hair care practitioner. So you're not only going to tell them what you see, what you feel, well, if the hair could talk, but what you see and what you feel. But you're going to ask them what did my character towards your hair say? And then ask, this is a checkoff list. And like for me, I would probably give something away free, either a J hook or not a hat. Probably a J hook, because some people might not want loose locks. Some people will come in and say, no, I would like that. Hey, it's a rubber band. You grab both of them, you stick your hand through, you stick your fingers through. I let it go too fast. No hair. Wait, hold up. Oh, there's a little teeny piece of hair in there. Let me see. It's a little teeny curl. You're not going to be able to see it. But it's really teeny. It's right under my nail. Oh, wrong camera. Wrong place. It's right so you can't see it. But anyway, it's there. So, we're at the part now to where I really stress, now is the time to know whether you're going to work with lice, scabies, sores in the head. Because if you pay for the license and you are the practitioner and you're independent and you work in a facility and you have your own license, it's up to you. It says in the module that it's up to the owner of the licensed facility, but it also says before that either you or the licensed facility owner decide whether you're going to work with scabies or not. But I'm telling you that if you decide not to work with scabies, then you can ask that question on your questionnaire. Do you know what scabies are? Or not scabies. You put the medical term. Do you know what this is? And if they say no, it's like, oh, that's scabies. I'm sorry. And then they can say yes or no, I don't have them. And the reason being is because I'm telling you, weeks down the road, somebody that has scabies and maybe you didn't catch it for some odd reason, and they can say, I got it from your shop. Even though they didn't. They know that. But see, you got to cover yourself. You have to stay covered at all times. And the other reason is because with your questionnaire, and it be worded so professional, you don't want to say, like I said, have you ever heard of anyone who has, I can't think of the word. Hold on. Okay, here it is. Pediculus capitis. That's head lice. So have you ever heard of anyone who had pediculus capitis? And they say, what's pediculus capitis? Because if they put no, then you can ask them later, what is pediculus capitis? And they would say, oh, that's head lice. Because everybody's heard of scabies. So pediculus capitis, oh, that's head lice. Then you know that they have never heard of anyone that has it. And then you can tell why. Because I don't work with head lice. I usually da-da-da-da-da-da-da, And as an on-the-go hands, an independent contractor, you can still have everyone fill out that form because you want to have yourself covered. I'm serious. You want to be able to say, call mzjanis. She's my mentor. She's the one that I get some of my help from. And, because I would be the one that would have to call the agency, or the agency would probably talk to me. And the agency is Health Licensing Office. It talks about the agency in here too. So you have to make sure that you're covered. You're covered. You're covered. You don't want to be an independent contractor, and then nobody to tell on you. I mean, with nobody for your your clients to tell on you for. You don't want to do that, because what they're going to do, they're going to go straight to the health licensing office, and then there's going to be an investigation, and then after the investigation, or before or during, I haven't figured out which one yet, they actually suspend your license until everything is, copacetic again. You don't want that. Because if it happens once, you might just give up. No, I'm never going to do anybody's independent. I'm going to blah, 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 blah. I'm going to decide to, I want to be a licensed natural hair care practitioner, yes, but I'm going to decide to be an employee. And then it says in the module that if the licensed facility gets investigated, you still have to, as an employee, show your. So you want to have someone that has want to have a covering. You want to have someone that, I usually have to take these to my mentor after they're filled out, because you want to. You want to have someone up close and personal that you can talk to. Well, I went over to this young lady's house, and she filled out the form and everything, and I didn't feel right. I didn't feel this, I didn't feel that, and so that's why I'm suggesting that once you get your license, the first place you go to is the Children's Services Division. They probably don't call it that now, but and to let them know who you are, so they can send you the clients. They have people of color or people that don't know how to do hair, and then you can do the little one's hair, or you can do the child's hair. And if it's an older person, you can train them. You can, I'm also a tutor. I teach people to do what I do. And I'm telling y'all, that's who I am. I'm going there. That's one of the first things my bishop asked me to do. She said to go to Children's Services Division and let them know that you have a license to do natural hair. And let them figure out how they're going to hire you. You just have a price, $75 per client. Or be very inexpensive. I'm just out here to help. $55 a client, and I help by tutoring. So if you have some teenage youth, maybe from the age of 16, because you can work when you're 16, from 16 on up, who are interested in this, may I put up a flyer? You see what I'm saying? You seek for ways to get your foot in some kind of organization. Go to a high school. Go to, let it be a continuing education course. You'll see what I do, and then you'll get the hints. But, but you always want people to fill out a questionnaire. I remember working at a school, and it was with young people, and then young people were starting to not listen to what I say. And I had already gotten in trouble. I told y'all for spanking my daughter, so I know kids. At least that part. They can say anything. I did spank my daughter. I told you that I did. I did spank my daughter, but it had gotten so out of hand that, they did an interview, and they had asked her, "Did I ever kick her? Did your mother ever kick you?" And she said yes. And they would say, "Well, what did she do afterwards?" My daughter said, "Well, she just kept apologizing, because she thought she hurt me, but she did it by accident, and it didn't hurt at all." See? But look how long it got to the point, accident. Didn't hurt. And then they asked another question like, "Does your mother ever call you out her name?" She's out of your name. She said yes. And they said, "What did she call you, honey?" Her name is Nahyla. Like that. Yes, I do know that they have to investigate, and yes, I do know that they have to take every situation seriously. Yes, I do know that. But it's scary. And then when I was working at just the high school, and the young people were coming and saying, they really wasn't saying anything yet. They were just making it seem like they weren't going to listen to me. Like they would sit on the back of the chairs. So I had to think of something to say in order to get them to sit in the chair. And I said, hey, excuse me. I said, sir, do you see that furniture over there? It's all house all broken, and they're not bringing in any new furniture. I said it's taken a while for them to replace what we've broken already. So if you sitting on the back of the chair breaks the chair, that's gonna go over there, and then we're not gonna have another couch for a while. Oh yeah, that makes sense, you know. But when I noticed that they were disrespecting the teacher, I was a volunteer, and I had noticed that they was disrespecting a teacher who worked at the school. I left. I said, I need somebody to cover me. I need somebody that I can go to for help if I need help. And when they didn't send nobody, I left. Because to me, if they're not respecting the teacher that works there and cares about them, or I don't know, but you know what I mean. And I'm just a volunteer. Anyway, so let's get back to work. Diseases and disorders. We stopped at before you get here, and you want to be covered. And that's what I mean by covering. You want to have forms, and that's how come I said that who I'm hiring. I'm looking for licensed natural hair practitioners who specialize in twisting, who specializes in weaving, who specializes in braiding, who specializes in locking people's hair, who specializes like that. Because I want to tutor you. I want to train you. And if you know, you will know me. There will never be a day that I say, do you remember the part in the module that said there will never be a day like that? That's how come I'm always tutoring and I'm always training. And the same thing that I expect of you is why I'm training it. Because I expect Miss to do it too. There should never be you're fired. It's like, how much did you make today? You don't have to give me any of those finances. I'm going to let somebody else take over your chair. There won't be, because I'm going over this every single day and you're still not getting it. See, something's wrong. Diseases and disorders may either be infectious, an allergic reaction to chemicals, or an autoimmune response. An autoimmune response, or when I think of the word autoimmune, I think of maybe eating something or drinking something that your body reacted terrible to. And sometimes it shows on the outside of your skin. I know that some people, for example, I know that some people get a fever blister on the outside of their lip, or on the outside you can see, I'm sorry, I know that hurts. It's a fever blister, it hurts, or whatever. But for me, I usually get one at the top of my mouth, and it hurts. But you can't see it, but it makes it very, very hard to eat. I mean, you can't eat like, I mean, you can, but it's kind of hard. Anyway, so that's what I think of when I think of autoimmune response. This is like an allergic reaction to it. Some people have a disorder when they eat something that has like pineapples in it, like that. So there's different ways to. Each disease or disorder has its own specific symptom or condition. That's what I'm trying to say, and it said it for me. Practitioners, that's you, and that's me. Wait, hold up. I need to do that again. Practitioners, that's you, that's me. Because I did me twice, is why I had to do it over. Should look for any type of abnormalities of the scalp prior to providing services and advise the client to seek medical attention if necessary. And that's how come when I get to the word disorders and diseases, I say before you get here. Because some people, they can say, I just got over A, B, C, and D. And I already been to the doctor, I got a clearance. And it's right here. And then now look, practitioners, that's you, that's me, should look for any type of abnormalities of the scalp prior to providing services and advise the client to seek medical attention if necessary. So if you're willing to put your those gloved hands in the person's head, that's when you start being very, 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 very nice. And you'll say, I'm going to use this comb. No, I'm going to use your comb on that area of your head. That's why the dollar store, when you're first starting this business, comes in very, 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 very handy, because they have the receptacles, they have the dividers, they have the little teeny covered containers, to separate what's in the receptacles. You can get a container only for brushes, container only for combs, container only for clips, and they have containers that are covered, containers that are stackable. We're talking about the dollar store. Now, we're not talking about IKEA because they have them too. But at the dollar store, it already comes with containers that are stackable for rubber bands. So if you already know that you're going to do a protective style with rubber bands, you would take out a little teeny, you can put your containers in those little teeny baggies that they have that close up. You get 500 and maybe put 100 in a baggie, and then you take them from out of the baggie. And that's how come you get good at using gloves, because you wouldn't want to put rubber bands in someone's hair that has a weak area. That's how come I wanted the loose lock to start with, and then my ends. I didn't think of that style. Remember when we went to styles and techniques? There's a style where you do your hair and you only well, I would have thought rubber band now. I section off my hair, and then I ended up with the style that I knotted the ends. But now that I know, I could have just used a rubber band and forgot all that. Because that's a protective style. And it's so loose that it's like, you use rubber bands in here? Yeah, and then this is how I put them in. And I hold the rubber band, make sure my finger's in it. Hold the lock, excuse me. Get my finger in the rubber band and just slide it out. And oil helps a lot with that, or having your hair wet. If it's wet, it just comes out anyway. You don't even have to do nothing. You just, and the rubber band will be in the bathtub. That's how loose they are. Okay, now look at this. Should look for any type of abnormalities of the scalp prior to providing services. So that right there, it's almost like on your check-off list, excuse me. Because remember, you get a check-off list for them, and they get one for you at the end of the services. And then if you take the time to do the check-off list, then you find some. Oh, wait a minute. It's still at 55 or 63. I think the last time it's a very slow process. I am so glad I went to the phone. Okay, diseases and disorders. Diseases and disorders can be accelerated by internal or external trauma, such as physical stress or hormonal or chemical imbalances. That means physical stress, we just talked about it, the rubber band is too tight, and you already knew that they had something wrong with their head. Or you used the comb and then you reopened what was wrong with their head. Or see, it's talking about internal or external trauma, such as physical stress or hormonal or chemical imbalances. So physical stress are 1, 2, 3. Regarding us. Well, I said 4. Because if you're doing something here and you hear, ow! Ah! Ooh. You're going to be like, what? Oh, and they didn't see you didn't do what I just asked or instructed. And they said, oh, the doctor just released me, and I thought that was okay right there. See, there wouldn't be none of that. You already looked in their head. Or you already asked the question on your questionnaire. Anyway, hair may be diminished by the weakened condition or traumatized state of the scalp resulting from a disease or disorder. See, now you're getting it. Now you're getting it. I know you're getting it because I'm getting it. It's like, yeah, I should have looked before I did that because now you're bleeding. You know? Now, I wonder what... Do we have any Ziploc bags? I've just put that cloth on her head. You see what I'm saying? See, anyway. Diseases and fungus. No, not and. Diseases, fungus. Because remember, it started off diseases and disorders. And I told you, diseases and disorders are bold. Now it says diseases, fungus, and then it says fungal organisms are characterized by itching scales and sometimes by painful circular lesions. Ooh. See, I'm not. I'm just telling you how I'm going to operate my licensed natural hair care practitioner facility. Once I get that license and pay that $100 or $200, I don't remember. I think that's the $200 one. I believe the independent contractor's license is $100. But you have to first take the test, the sit-down test to become a licensed natural hair care practitioner. And then, that's what I'm asking you now, you decide what you want to do. Do you want to be a licensed facility owner after you get the after you are a licensed practitioner? The reason being is because in order to get a licensed facility, you have to have the name of your facility, like out on the front window, and you also have to have the address out on the front window or stapled or painted on the door. And you have to make sure it's seen, it's in public view. And then once you open the door into your licensed facility, somewhere public view has to have your information of who you are and your license number, your licensing number, and it also has to be registered with the Oregon Health Licensing Office. But all this is in the module. I'm just saying it because I remember. Fungal organisms are characterized by itching scales and sometimes by painful circular lesions. The following forms of fungus are contagious and may be easily transmitted from one person to another by the infected skin, scales, or hairs that contain the fungi which spread the disease. Now, to me, that kind of sounds like you can get it if you comb a person's hair or brush a person's hair and don't sterilize your tools. I know tools, but I'm trying to think of the other word. And implements correctly. Or you can get it if, okay, or we can get it. I'll say we. We can get it if we comb and brush, and then some of the mucus from that, because it talks about pustules and it talks about, it doesn't call it mucus. What does it call it? Hold on. Because it's a fungus, so it's a living organism. But anyway, I'm going to read it. So if it gets on us, just by the hairs, the hair follicles popping out and coming out and attaching stuff to you, and you don't know. Because sometimes you don't. You really don't. I'll be in the shower sometimes, and I'll be washing my hair, and it doesn't feel like any of the rubber bands came out. But it's like, wait, is that another rubber? There's another rubber band. What? Hold on. The way I know that the rubber band is in my hair is because normally my hair feels like this when I bother it. When it feels, I don't know, like this. But this rubber band, I could feel it when I did this because the shape of the lock was different. It was more like a bow. So this must was a tiny rubber band. Yeah, because now it's like medium. Okay, let's get back to work. The following forms of fungus are contagious and can be easily transmitted from one person to another by the affected skin, scales, or hairs. See? And because it's attached to the hairs, their hairs can get on us and we can become infected. And we'll be like, what happened here? That's why I'm constantly saying that before you get here with your gloves on, that you should know the person or the client's hair before you touch it. Because this tells you to tell them to go to the doctor, but this right here sounds like you're working on the head. See, the following forms of fungus are contagious and can be easily transmitted from one person to another by the infected skin, scales, or hairs that contain the fungi which spread the disease. So how would you get their skin, scales, or hair on you? I'm just saying. Tinea capitis or Tinea favosa. I said it right this time because normally I say fabosa because it sounds like a Spanish word, looks like a Spanish word, and I usually pronounce the V as a B as in Spanish. Okay, we're going to talk about the fungus Tinea capitis. Tinea capitis, red papules or spots at the opening of the hair follicle. Patches spread and the hair becomes brittle and lifeless, breaking off, leaving a stump or shed from the enlarged open follicles. I'm just saying. I'm just agreeing. Okay, now we're going to talk about the fungus Tinea favosa or favus. Dry, sulfur, yellow, cup-like crust on the scalp, which they don't say nothing about ringworms. Oh, anyway, I'm just saying. Crust on the scalp, which has a peculiar odor, causing bald patches that may be pink or white and shiny. Pink or white and shiny. I don't want to get any of the questions on the test wrong, but if there were any that I probably would get wrong, I don't think it would be the diseases. Because every time I think of a disease, I more and more want to be the tutor. Or I more and more want to be a distributor to those who, like the clientele that comes into my licensed facility. Or the more and more the push towards those who are the specialists. I love the fact that in that facility, everybody is going to be a tutor. Everybody is going to be a teacher. Everybody is going to be a mentor. Everybody, and I already know that we're going to have a lot of young people who are going to come in. And you're going to be telling them, if you ever decided to become a licensed natural hair care practitioner, and if you wanted to work here, you're more than happy to do clinicals. What type of hair do you do? And then you'll know what it means to cover somebody, to guard them, to keep them safe, to, so they won't get favosa, or let me say what the name of it is again. Tinea favosa. Because you don't want them to give it to you because they caught it from somebody. And the only way that would happen is if you continually guard what you have. You can guard it. You're continually guarding your skin. You're continually guarding your clothes. You have the covering. You know, you have. I mean, I will daily be looked at. I will daily be my character. Excuse me. My character will daily be looked at. It won't be. It will be a positive character, meaning a positive influence, meaning a positive like that. Whatever your character entails, that's what I'm going to be because I know that people are going to be looking at me to with this check off list. You know, did you do this? Did you do that? Did I do the other? Okay, diseases and parasites are living organisms that feed, grow, and thrive on or in a host organism. And we're on page 40, so we have one more page to go. No, two more. Because I stopped at 21, and now I'm on page 40, so that would be 42. So diseases and parasites. Parasites are living organisms that feed, grow, and thrive on a host organism. And who wants to be a host to a parasite? That's like if I was a dog and something was growing and feeding on me and we find it, it would be like big, hanging, and it would be steady growing because I can't get it off. Like fleas, ticks, whatever. Anyway, parasites are living organisms that feed, grow, and thrive on or in a host organism. So it's saying we're organisms and they are organisms. Okay, here are our parasites. The only one I really remember is I remember the regular name. I don't remember pediculosis capitis, but I do remember scabies, but I didn't know they were called itch mites. So it's head lice and itch mites. To me, it sounds like the I'm just saying this. I don't know. I didn't take the test yet, so I'm just saying this. I believe that they will probably put pediculosis capitis and ask us what it is, and scabies and ask us what it is. So we would have to know the difference between scabies and pediculosis capitis, and I'm gonna tell you how to do it. You remember scabies because it says itch mite, and that's like English compared to pediculosis capitis. That's called practitioner. You have to be a practitioner or a natural hair care specialist. You don't even have to be licensed. You just have to know this, that pediculosis capitis is head lice. Look at me. Now I'm rubbing. And this is terrible. This is just terrible. I'm glad this is the last page for a minute. Because I might come back on later once the camera gets... once I finish updating the computer. But just in case, that's one way to remember it. You remember scabies, which are itch mites. And then you do PC, which is computer. And a PC is a personal computer, so which is a computer, and then the words that is pediculosis capitis, pediculosis capitis, pediculosis capitis, pediculosis capitis, pediculosis capitis, pediculosis capitis. I wonder, am I sleepy? Anyway, this today I'm feeling stuff. Anyway, I really appreciate how you are helping me to learn more, to do more, to be more encouraged. Every day I come on now and I'm like fired up, wanting to. And I actually, like I said, look at these. Okay, the diseases, which are parasites. Because you remember, we started with diseases way back on page. Hold on. After we did the hair characteristics. So, 34 is when we ended hair characteristics. And then 35 is where we began diseases and disorders. Now we're doing diseases, and after diseases comes disorders. So PC, pediculosis capitis, is called head lice, I think. Yeah. And then scabies is called itch mites. Do you remember what this is? It's a hint. And it has the word butter in it. Butterfly clip. Okay, pediculosis capitis is head lice, which feeds on the scalp, causing itching, and when scratched can cause infection. That's a lot of itching. Because normally what a person does is, or what I'm doing is like, right? Or in order to have head lice that causes itching and when scratched can cause infection. They're not talking about, they talking about, oh my God. I wonder can you get rid of pediculosis capitis with water? I don't know. I don't know. I'm just asking. If you know, please write it in the comment section. Oh, you can only do that live. I'm sorry. Because for some reason I haven't figured out how to turn on talking while you're looking at, you can see the talking, the captioning or the notes, but you can't leave a comment. Okay, scabies, itch mites, which burrow under the skin, causing inflammation, blisters, and pustules. That's the one I was trying to tell you about. And one scratch can cause infection. The reason being is because it opens it up. Whew. It burrows under the skin. Ooh, Jesus. When I think about the goodness of Jesus. No, let me stop. Ooh, Jesus. I'm thinking about, what's the name? Weevil? No, what's the name of those things that are outside and they grow under the skin? I mean, under the skin. They grow underground. They don't grow. They burrow underground. Moles. It's because grass could be the hair and the moles can be the itch mites. Yep, scabies. Okay, diseases, pathogenic bacteria. Pathogenic bacteria is a one-cell organism that causes disease and infection when entering the body. Pathogenic. Pathogenic. That's reminding me of ACT. Antigen, catagen, telogen, which is the cycle of hair growing, because it goes over and over again, that cycle. But the first one takes 6 to 7 years of hair growth before it doesn't. And I'm looking over there because I really am tired of not finding the camera. It's better for me to talk that way. Like somebody's on the camera over there, right? I know what you were thinking. Thank you so much, Natural Hair Care Practitioners, for coming to hang out with Ms. Janice today. Again, I'm done. So again, I want to tell you that in the coming months, I'm going to be doing, not probably months, it'll probably be the coming days. I know after I take the test and pass, that I'm going to be moving on to good and better things. And one of those good and better things is I'm going to tutor high school, the GED. I'm going to get the packet. I'm going to take the GED course along with you, just like I'm taking this disease, this natural hair care practitioner tutoring along with you. I'm tutoring it to give you ideas on how to become not only a licensed natural hair care practitioner, but how this can lead or is the pathway to you owning your own business. It's so much teaching in a school, um, uh, just having classes where you can offer your services. Black Parent Initiative is a good uh, source of income because they hire a lot of independent contractors to come in and teach families how they can do A, B, C, and D. And this is a good aid point to start at. Uh, Also, from this, and knowing that you can be tutored in something, and knowing that you can bring your gifts uh, to Lockster's embassy, and one of your gifts could be a branch off from this, which is cosmetology. Is you can further this and get your license to do nails, your license to do facials, your license to do like that. You can become a licensed barber, a license, because what we're doing is we're building a community that teaches others to do what we do and to be the best us that we can. It also opens doors for us to make finances that we choose to make. We don't have to go out there and work at something that we don't want to do. We can do it and in such a professional way that people will begin to, like when you're a good cook, they're like, you need to open up a shop. People begin to ask you to branch out, you to do. And then I plan on having a embassy in different parts of the city and different states. The reason being is because as an independent contractor, you don't have to stay bound in one place. If you ever wanted to travel as an independent contractor, you don't have to follow, you have to follow the law, the rules and regulations of that state if you want to teach, tutor, etc. But if you want to expand from Lobster's embassy, you have an opportunity to go anywhere that you want and open up a Lobster's embassy there. That's how big I plan to become. Hey, and I know it's going to happen because I'm putting it out there and I'm doing it now. I'm doing it now. And I would like for those who want to specialize as a natural hair care practitioner in not weaves, not weaves. I mean, not weaves, but that I didn't even want to even say that one. Locks, because you can specialize in weaves. Let me go over the list. I like training modules. Okay, it says natural hair care includes the following procedures when performed upon human hair, natural fibers, or synthetic hair. Braiding. So if you want to be a natural hair care practitioner who specializes in braiding, I'm looking for you. I'm looking for you. If you want to be a licensed natural hair care practitioner who specializes in cornrowing, I'm looking for you. But I would, now this is what I'll add, and this is the reason why I'm saying it. Right now, I specialize in locks, or people who really want locks, because I plan on really getting good at doing hair with gloves on. And some of these you can't. Some of these you will have to cut the tip of the glove, and I understand that. And I know there's gloves that really are close to your hand, like extra small gloves. They will be close to your hand, and if you cut the tips, see, you can be you can specialize in that. How does she work with gloves on? And you can tell, as long as I can feel the hair with my fingertips. That way you can protect the rest of you and work with your fingertips, and you can keep those sterilized. You can keep those sanitized. You can keep those like that. Okay? All right, so I'm going to really let you go. And we're going to start with where we just left off on page 43. It says 63 of 63. Did you see me try to find the camera? It says 63 or 63. Oh my goodness. It's almost done. Okay. I'm going to see you guys later. This is Miss Janice, your licensed... I'm really practicing now. This is Miss Janice, your natural hair care practitioner, signing off. And we'll definitely meet you back here at Lobster's Embassy a little later. I got disconnected. Help! It doesn't say on here how to turn it off. I'm so sorry, you guys. It says share. Let me share it. I do not know how to turn this off. It's not even telling me how to turn it off. There's no swiping to the left or right. So y'all have to look at me. Oh,